Kickoff about to happen here at Soldier Field on the lakefront alongside Dason Robinson. I'm Alex Campbell filling in for Max Toma and Max Anderson this evening. Thank you for spending your Saturday night with Chicago Fire FC Soccer here on WLS AM 890. The Fire will be going from right to left in this opening half. They are in all red shirts, red shorts, and red socks. Chris Brady, the goalkeeper, in all green. Orlando City, all purple, purple shirts, purple shorts, lavender socks. Pedro Galese is in all yellow to the left. The fans here at Soldier Field are on their feet, and we are underway as Brian Gutierrez from the center circle sends it back to Jack Elliott. Ball down the far side, and leaping out of midair there is the returning Araujo in central midfield, but it comes right back for Kuipers. Kuipers edge of the area, across to the middle. Schlegel couldn't clear. Gutierrez ran right back into Schlegel. And Gutman from distance with his off right foot sends it over the bar. But Dason, a spark to start for the Fire.
Yeah, pretty promising start right there from the Fire. They usually play the ball back to one of their center backs and go for that long direct pass into the opponent's area. It actually worked this time, and they were able to pick up a second ball. The ball fell to Guti, and he was able to just get an attempt on goal, and the ball ended up finding the feet of Gutman on his right foot. Not his best foot, but nevertheless, the first shot of the game in the first 30 seconds of the game.
Orlando almost giving it away. There was the captain, Janssen. Bouncing ball is sliced through the air from his own end by Schlegel. Muriel, number 9, dropping deep into midfield to pick this up. Looking up the far side for the speedy Angulo. Cups is over. His first touch is a ball cleared out of bounds for an Orlando throw right near the midfield stripe.
You said it right. Angulo, one of the quickest players in MLS. The Colombian, he has some wheels on him, so that's certainly something to note on that left-hand side of Orlando City.
Angulo, one of a couple players making his 11th start in 11 matches this season. Orlando will build up in a 3-2-5 shape, very much in vogue in modern soccer. Alex Freeman, the young right back, 6'3", will be the rightmost player in that front five. Angulo holds the width on the left. Janssen looking to play out from his own penalty area. It's cleared away by Brecalo. Freeman challenging against Gutman, who does well to win it for Gutierrez. He deals with Araujo. Attempted backheel from Pineda as the ball pinballs in midfield. Freeman eventually collects for Cesar Araujo, Montevideo, Uruguay native. And we've got our first whistle of the evening as Araujo is on the turf. The guilty party, Hugo Kuipers.
Yeah, Hugo Kuipers didn't like that call. He does make contact with Araujo, and he does go down. I won't say fairly easy, but he does go down. He's still down, as a matter of fact. Maybe there's a little bit of a knee to the back or to the back of the knee, but nevertheless, it was a foul called on Kuipers. Good pressure from him, though. I do like that early on in this game. Sometimes even forwards need to send a message to the opposing team to let them know that they're here to play.
Araujo, who has been unavailable since the 29th of March. Freeman dropping inside and charging forward, edge of the D. Freeman leaving it off. Angulo left side of the area. Angulo onto his right. Shot takes a deflection and goes behind for a corner. Closing him down was Christopher Cups. It was off him last. We talked, though, in the pregame, Dason, about Orlando's ability to transition, and like a flash, they went from left to right in front of us there.
What's amazing is that Freeman, the right back, was pretty much right under where Muriel were, and notably where you would see a number 10 shirt, but he was able to find the ball in some space. He thought he might crank one from there, but found Angulo on the left-hand side, and now Orlando has a corner.
Kyle Smith, the midfielder, is over to take this corner on the near side. He's right-footed. It'll be an outswinger. He swings it into the top of the area. Heads go up, and the Fire clear. Jack Elliott won it in the air. As chasing back to halfway go Orlando, and Gulo plays it all the way back to Galese. Looking to restart things quickly. It's through several lines. And to Gutman. Gutierrez turning on halfway under pressure and dispossessed by Kyle Smith. Luis Muriel in possession, sees that ball go off of Gutierrez, and it's kept in on the near side by Kuipers. Brian Gutierrez to the middle, space here for Zinkernagel in midfield. Zinkernagel holds, puts a foot on the ball, and the Fire reset here with Elliott on the near side of the center circle, handing off to Pineda. We'll see Mauricio drop into that defensive line often this evening. Here's Zinkernagel as a central midfielder, looking for the run of Jonathan Dean, bursting down the far side, but the pass just too heavy. It'll be a goal kick for Orlando. Good to see, though, Dason. Jonathan Dean, as I mentioned, had that punctured lung he suffered against Toronto. Good to see he's got a sprint like that in him.
Yeah, no doubt about it. When he did go down, I personally thought it was more so an injury to his head, maybe a concussion situation, but ended up being a pretty rough situation with a punctured lung. You never know how those are going to turn out, but glad to see Jonathan Dean back in, and also good to see him streaking up the right-hand side. He has a surprisingly quality ability to attack as a right back. He's more notably known for his defense.
Duncan McGuire breaks down a goal kick there, bodying Christopher Cupps. That'll be a matchup to watch. McGuire, a guy who spends no shortage of time in the weight room.
No, that was really just a man versus a boy. I know Christopher Cupps is out there, but the way that McGuire positioned his body, that's just intelligence.
Angulo and Dean racing to a loose ball at the far corner. Thought Brady might come for that one. Angulo looking for Muriel. Muriel delays onto his right edge of the 6. It's saved by Brady. And out for a corner kick. Luis Muriel put on the brakes, lined up the homegrown keeper. Brady got big and made the stop.
Yeah, just a bit of a ball that was just dumped into the corner. People were surprised. Dean was surprised that Angulo was able to get to it. Orihel overran Muriel as he thought he was going to cross it, and Muriel chops it back in with using the wisdom that he's had over these years and gets a quality shot on Christopher Brady's goal.
Muriel swings the corner in low, stabbed away by Cupps. Zinkernagel trying to break, and the Fire could get forward here. 2-on-3 if they hurry. Zinkernagel has Gutierrez with him. Still Zinkernagel, holding and drifting out to the far side. He's got Angulo for company. Zinkernagel giving and going. Gutierrez. Zinkernagel. His cross was blocked by Angulo. Great defensive work by the Orlando City winger as it's flicked away by Freeman, and the Fire will reset. Dason, on the second of Sam Surge's goals in Nashville, we saw that hesitancy from Chris Brady to charge out from his net to claim. Saw it a bit there as well. I think he could have gotten to that ball that Dean and Angulo ended up fighting for before Muriel had that chance.
Yeah, but like I said, it was just a ball that was just dumped in there. It was kind of a ball that nobody was sure about what was going to happen, and Angulo, Johnny on the spot, got to it first.
Mauricio Pineda playing back into his own half for Christopher Cupps, closed down by Muriel. Jonathan Dean halfway far side, looking long for Zinkernagel. That ball just towing the line on the far side. Brecalo clears. Angulo looking to flick, but only found the chest of Brian Gutierrez in midfield. Sergio Orihel just right of center at about the 35-yard line. Gutierrez, Jonathan Bamba central, drifting right. Bamba in behind. Zinkernagel hurdles a challenge. Zinkernagel crossing, looking for Ugo Kuipers. And we've got whistles.
Yeah, it was just out.
The ball went out of play along the Orlando goal line before Zinkernagel got the cross away. It'll be a goal kick for Orlando City, who, something that's very popular in modern soccer, the two center backs will stand on the corners of the 6-yard box. Galese can play it to either one of them or send it long.
Yeah, well, with the new rules that the goal kick does not have to come out the box, the bigger box anymore, the 18-yard box, teams are now opting to have their center backs or their stay very close to the to the initial kick of the ball.
Galese, who with those last 4 clean sheets got to 100 for his career, 48 of them having come with the purple of Orlando. Foul called against Brian Gutierrez, challenging for a long ball in midfield. Orlando just take it short, looking to establish some possession. 8 minutes played here at Soldier Field. Alex Campbell, Dason Robinson with you on WLS 890. Galese comes out for a ball that wasn't cleared well and sends it straight up into the Soldier Field sky. Brought down by Gutierrez, number 17 in red. Give it away.
Bad turnover.
And here's a chance for Orlando to get forward. McGuire right up the middle, handing to Muriel. Muriel charging at Cupps. Muriel looking for Araujo. Araujo nowhere to go. He was closed down by Gutman and Elliott. Finding Pasalic. His shot blocked by Elliott. Straight up in the air and rising to claim is Chris Brady. Another quick transition by Orlando, but well done by the Fire to get back, get positioned, and snuff out that danger.
That was a really good transition from Orlando in terms of attack. Bad turnover by Guti in a really rough area in the middle of the field. Actually could have cost his team, but great recovery by the men in red side, and Chris Brady once again coming up big to come out and get that ball. and it ended up on the foot of Pasalic, especially on his favorite left foot, and he scored a heck of a goal against Atlanta last week in a similar position, so we don't want to see too much more of that this evening.
Chris Brady hoping for a cleaner day at the office than his Chicago suburban compatriot. Goalkeeper Brad Guzan, who was on the other end of that 3-0 last week. Mauricio Pineda turns in midfield, right of center from his vantage point. The Fire going from south to north in this opening half at Soldier Field, 0-0 here in the 10th minute. Andrew Gutman with room down the near side. Gutman looking ahead, couldn't find the return pass for Zinkernagel. It was well read by Araujo, but he's in some pain, and the Fire are in with a chance. Zinkernagel face, Zinkernagel save, tap it, no! Zinkernagel had the chance. It looked like Hugo Kuipers had an 8th goal, but Pedro Galese, what a double save by the Peruvian for Orlando City.
Yeah, and it comes off of picking up a ball off of Freeman, who turned it over in a bad position. Zinkernagel, who's been dynamic the last couple of weeks, drives into the middle of the box, fakes his shot, finds another spot toward the PK spot, forces Galese to make a great save, and Kuipers does what he does. He's in the right spot, puts the ball on frame, and Galese comes up with another great save. Back-to-back saves, and what a great showing of offense from the Chicago Fire.
Cesar Araujo was down for a moment. He is noticeably limping again. He's been out for over a month, and he's now having a chat with Hugo Kuipers about that last series. It was Kuipers on his left foot. If that's on his right, that ball is buried into the twine, and it's 1-0 Fire. Instead, it's a corner, far side, Zinkernagel to deliver an outswinger. Zinkernagel right into the middle. Orihel was there, and Kuipers up and over. Sergio Orihel should have scored. Hugo Kuipers should have scored. The Fire just can't hit the target on that set piece. Well worked as Orihel was in the 6-yard box completely on his own, Desan.
Listen, set piece coach Ryan needs to be applauded for this setup that he had his men in red side go through. Somehow, some way, Orihel ended up inside the 6 with a free header. Just not sure if he got up high enough. It does flick on, or he is able to flick it onto the back post. But Kuipers making such a long run. I don't know if you saw it, but he was, about 23, 25 yards out on the left-hand side of the box, and he sprinted inside the box. I think he was supposed to end up on the ball as he was. He just couldn't keep it down, and wow, the Fire very well could be up 2-0 in a matter of moments.
Kuipers on the press forces this back. 2 big chances for the league's tied leading goal scorer coming into tonight. Ty Baribo of Philadelphia also with 7. Jonathan Bamba near side for the Fire as Pineda works it back for Jack Elliott into his own half. Should also note, Kuipers on that run was being marked by his opposite number, Muriel, so we've praised Angulo, we've praised Muriel, Oscar Pareja's men, even the attackers contributing on defense.
And the way it looked, it was very comical to look at, especially with the player being so far out.
Bad giveaway here as Angulo was on the rush after a bad ball from Elliott. Angulo left side of the area, slows and faces up Orihel, leaving it back, unable to get a shot away. Did he get a free kick? He did. Kyle Smith goes down. Zinkernagel can't believe it. Smith was going away from goal. There was contact, but the ball was gone. He had misplayed a pass. In the end, it will be a very dangerous free kick position for Orlando City. Left of center, about 24 yards from goal.
Yeah, and just comes off another, like I said, bad giveaway from his men in red side. And as we're checking out the replay from Orihel with the great flick on the Kuipers at the back post off this last corner, this Fireside, unfortunately, are not giving themselves a great opportunity to stay in this game if they keep allowing Orlando City to find themselves great opportunities, whether with free kicks or on the counter. And right now, this is a dangerous, dangerous opportunity for them.
Araujo and Muriel, both right footers over the ball for Orlando. Given that Araujo was just limping a moment ago, I'd be shocked if he was the one to take this. Muriel scored a penalty in that win last weekend over Atlanta. Again, just a little to the left of center, about 24 yards out. Big chance here for Orlando. It will be Araujo straight into the wall, waist high. Angulo got the follow-up. Freeman edge of the area near side. Freeman, Angulo on the overlap, broken up by Andrew Gutman. Sergio Orejel looking to get clear. Finds Brian Gutierrez. Can he launch a counterattack? Gutierrez looking long for the run of Jonathan Bamba. Great header one, though, as he was retreating by Luis Muriel, the striker, the last line of defense. In the end, not a good set piece, not a good free kick, and a wasted opportunity for Orlando.
Yeah, it was, but certainly this is one of the most, if not the most exciting game that I've covered this year in terms of Chicago Fire playing an opponent. Both sides are attacking well. Both sides are defending well. Both sides have had opportunities.
Jonathan Dean could be in trouble here. He's up against Muriel. Referee says no foul as the Colombian goes to ground.
Pretty surprised there was no foul on that, but referee felt that Muriel went down a little bit too easy.
Pineda under pressure, dribbling toward the far touchline. Don't know who his intended target was, but it was last off an Orlando City player. Throw in to be taken by Jonathan Dean. About 10 yards short of midfield on the far side. He'll go back for cups. Not a lot of work for the 16-year-old to do so far this evening. Has made a couple good defensive interventions as the Fire look to play out of their own 18-yard box to the near side. Along the sideline, it's Andrew Gutman, who has a heavy touch and it goes straight out of play. Gutman, alongside Mauricio Pineda, Desan, of course, was pulled in the 37th minute of that game last week. What did you make of that, and how do you think as a player you need to respond to your coach making that sort of decision?
Well, certainly you want to respect the coach in his decisions. You can be displeased and not happy about what took place, but you have to respect it, especially in the moment, and not try to show him up in any way, shape, or form. As you can see, they're both back in the starting lineup, so it was just a matter of what took place.
What a ball for Bamba! What a touch! Joe Bamba right into the breadbasket of Galese. It was an incredible ball played by Sergio Orejel. The flag stayed down. Bamba at the top of the 18-yard box cushioned it with his right foot, but his shot went right into the Peruvian goalkeeper's midriff. And another good chance here in this first half. Desan goes begging for the Fire.
Yeah, just an unbelievable ball by Sergio Orejel, who has opened up his toolbox, his toolkit over the last few starts playing those longer balls.
Here's a long ball the other way. Duncan McGuire could be onto this. McGuire, first time shot. He drags it just wide of the far post. It was a header by Elliott that played him through. Brady was rooted to the spot, end-to-end here at Soldier Field in the 17th minute.
As I mentioned, this is the most entertaining game that I've witnessed and covered this year. Orejel to Bamba. Bamba did cushion it with a great touch there. He just couldn't slide it past Galese. And then not only, maybe 10, 15 seconds later, McGuire brings down a long, direct ball into his feet. And, man, he strikes it extremely well, but it just goes wide of Chris Brady's goal.
Fire playing out under pressure here. Elliott back for Brady, who clears with his left foot. Ball hanging in the air. Kuipers read it well. Cushions for Gutierrez. Hugo Kuipers across midfield.
Yeah, Orlando's playing a high line right now, and Fire timing their runs extremely well to get behind it.
Bamba back for Gutman. Pineda. Orejel surrounded by purple shirts. Pineda near side. Bamba hugging the sideline. Bamba up against Pasalic. Bamba, right-footed cross into the area, is headed away by Schlegel. Orejel wins the loose ball midfield. Here's Bamba again.
Yeah, Pasalic doesn't want to defend.
Joe Bamba, edge of the area, sliding challenge by Alex Freeman, and then cleared away by Pasalic. And again, it's McGuire on the chase. Elliott cleans up tidily this time, as Brady is out of his area to play the loose ball and hand off to his fellow homegrown Cups. A high-paced game. The Fire have had the better of the chances. Hugo Kuipers inside the 6-yard box on a flicked header from Orejel and what looked like a left-footed tap-in from 8 yards. Neither went in. Zinkernagel turning as the Fire transition to attack. Zinkernagel's pass is errant. Orejel, though, picks up the loose ball. Referee plays an advantage after he was fouled by Araujo. Ball forward. Kuipers flicks it on. Gutman cutting it back. Bamba! Save by Galese. Kuipers took a swing. It wasn't there. Zinkernagel plays it off of Brecalo for a corner. Another big stop by Galese.
What are we seeing here tonight from the Chicago Fire? We are seeing a revived side. We are seeing a side that is hungry for goal. They are putting so much pressure on the back line of Orlando City. This ball comes in again from Orejel. Kuipers does a great leap and flicks it on to Gutman, who's able to cut it back to Bamba with his second shot of the game. And Galese coming up big again. They got to find a way to get past him because right now he is a brick wall.
It'll be another outswinging corner from the far side. Left far corner from our vantage point. Philip Zinkernagel waiting to take it as the referee sorts out some fisticuffs in the area. Fans on their feet and chanting loud here at Soldier Field. Zinkernagel, out swinger, middle of the area. Everyone rises, it's over, everyone. Gutman won't chase it down, it's out for an Orlando City throw on the near side. And a fire team, Dason, that is normally very dangerous on corner kicks, doesn't even get the chance on this occasion.
Yeah, that time just a little over hit by Zinkernagel. Unfortunately, no player from Chicago was able to get their head on the ball, but nevertheless, once again, this first 20 minutes has been really, really good from both sides. Orlando City, listen, we know how good they are. 4 straight shutouts, and they did not concede a goal in April. I repeat, they did not concede a goal in April. And tonight, the Fire are putting so much pressure on that record. They're trying to break that streak that Orlando has so far.
These numbers in-game are always a bit tough to read, but the folks at Opta have the Fire over 2 expected goals already here tonight, 20 minutes played.
Oh, yeah, man. Listen, they're certainly cranking it, and they're having quality chances on goal. Not just chances like shooting wide and high, but these are quality opportunities, and this game very well could be 1-0, 2-0, 2-2. I mean, there's a lot going on.
Jonathan Dean picks up the ball on the far side, cuts inside against Angulo. Dean lays it back, Pineda edge of the area. Sergio Orejel, right corner of the 18, ahead for Zinkernagel. His cutback is deflected. Araujo picks it up, then goes down under relatively minimal contact from Ugo Kuipers.
Yeah, a little disappointed in Jonathan Dean right there, not crossing that ball in after he beat his defender with his left foot. I thought maybe he was just lacking a little bit of confidence to get under the ball and put in a dangerous ball inside the box there. But next time, hopefully he knows that he can beat that defender one-on-one. Brecalo on the right hand side, and get a good cross in with his left foot.
Free kick to be taken by Galese, playing his 162nd game for Orlando City this evening. The 35-year-old Peruvian with 114 caps for his country. He is out of contract at the end of this season, but if he keeps playing like this, that should be an easy decision for the Orlando front office. Freeman getting forward, exchanging with Pasalic. That ball is cleared awkwardly by Gutierrez all the way out for a corner kick for Orlando on the near side, as trotting over to take will be Muriel this time. Pasalic relatively quiet so far tonight. 5 goals, 2 assists for the designated player, native of Karlsruhe in Germany, formerly of Karlsruhe, who are currently battling for the playoff promotion spot in the Zweite Bundesliga, which is known by many as the craziest league in world soccer, and it lives up to that.
Yeah.
Muriel out swinger, low, flicked in and flicked on by Freeman. Brady dives to keep that ball just in play and extinguish any further threats. Quickly rolling it out here for Orejel with some space, and we know he loves to ping balls forward from this right side of midfield. Instead, this time he'll do the safe option infield to Mauricio Pineda here. 22 minutes played at Soldier Field. Alex Campbell, Dason Robinson, thanks for listening with us tonight here on WLS AM 890.
The way the Fire has set up as they're building out of the back is that they have pushed Jonathan Dean up really high and let Orejel go to that right back spot to help with the quality of play out the back.
Fire have some room here as Bamba gets forward, right down the middle. Joe Bamba to the near side, Andrew Gutman. Gutman laying it ahead, too far ahead for Kuipers, out for a goal kick, but the patience and the build out from the back, particularly between the legs of Cups and Gutierrez, got the Fire going.
Yeah, like I said, it starts with Orejel. He is seemingly right now the quarterback of this machine. When the ball finds his feet, he is engineering the proper attack, the give and go, the right opportunities, the right moments to strike. He is the one that is leading this group as they are building out the back and gaining possession.
The 19-year-old, and he's not even anywhere near the least experienced man on the field tonight. Again, 6 Fire homegrowns in tonight's 11, a new club record. Fire putting the press on here as Brecalo clears, looking for Freeman. Big target at 6'3", the young man, but giving it away was Pasalic. Gutierrez finding Pineda in the center circle, handing off for the QB Orejel. Zinkernagel the Dane, back to Pineda. Orejel taking his time as Orlando get back into this, what is generally a 4-4-2 block of a shape, but they're playing almost a back 5 on a possession tonight. Long ball to the near side for Bamba. The flag is up on the far side. Wow, it was really close.
I don't know about that one.
And
I don't know about that one.
I was going to say, I didn't think the flag was going to go up. I thought he timed that run perfectly. Brian Gutierrez, who played the ball, is saying to the referee, hey, I thought I did a pretty good job on that pass.
Listen, that was a great ball, great spray right there. And Bamba, he must have had to been slightly off for the linesman to raise his flag. But nevertheless, Orlando, surprisingly, when there's no pressure on the ball, they're not really dropping off. And that's one thing that got the Fire in trouble last week, was they were not dropping off when there was no pressure on the ball. Yes, you're supposed to play a high line, but you have to be smart about it. And Orlando are playing with fire, pun intended, tonight as they keep that high line.
Long ball by Galese, taking no chances is Gutman. He sends that off the advertising boards on the near side for a throw-in. Past the halfway mark of the first half, Fire 0, Orlando 0, but the chances have been heavily skewed to the home side. They haven't been able to finish them off yet, despite a couple of them falling to one of the league's leading goal scorers, Hugo Kuipers. Playing out from their own penalty area, here's the 16-year-old full debutant, Christopher Cupps. Cupps, a Chicago native. Crazy to think, Desan, that just a couple years ago, Andre Reynolds II became the first player from the city limits to play for the club. And I believe there are 3 of them on the field right now.
Yep. With Christopher Cupps, he attended Walter Payton High School.
Here's a long ball from Gutierrez looking for Kuipers. Great tracking back by Freeman. Freeman, a man who I think is going to be getting Mauricio Pochettino's attention for the U.S. men's national team. Certainly was well thought of by Greg Berhalter and his staff during Berhalter's time with the national team, given all the youth call-ups that Freeman was getting, very similar to Sergio Orejel. Joe Bamba up against Freeman here near side. Zinkernagel edge of the area. Zinkernagel into a cul-de-sac, finds safety with Pineda. Orejel plays all the way back to midfield and Jack Elliott. Possession 2-1 in the Fire's favor.
Yeah, they're doing a great job. Short passes, long passes, really switching it up, spicing it up.
Cupps taking no chances as he was under pressure, sends a ball into the night. Sun having set here over the course of the first half on this late spring, early summer day in Chicago that feels a bit more like late winter, early spring, if we're honest. Got that tease of 80 degrees last weekend when the team was away, and they're back home and the cold has returned.
Yes, it'd be really nice if Chicago said, hey, it's time to let go of winter. But it's really holding on to it for whatever reason.
First yellow card of the evening goes to Sergio Orejel for a not at all subtle full fist of David Brecalo's jersey.
Well, Brecalo got around him, kind of pulled him back a little bit. Certainly a bit of a interesting coming together there, but Orejel ended up receiving the yellow card. Probably not what he thought he would be receiving tonight when he woke up this morning, but nevertheless, it was a good physical battle there.
Yellow card in the 27th minute issued to Orejel. Fire have regained possession. Bamba looking ahead for Kuipers, couldn't find him. Game has throttled down a gear since that furious 5 or 10 minutes earlier. McGuire looking to lay that off for the charging Angulo. They weren't quite on the same page. Orejel a chance to get forward. Here's Jonathan Bamba.
Another breakout here by the men in red.
Bamba across midfield. Over to close him down is Smith as Bamba slows. Bamba, infield Gutierrez. Gutierrez between the lines, Zinkernagel. Zinkernagel back for Gutierrez. Lots of short passes here in midfield for the Fire. It is just a wall of purple.
He's off.
Out far side, Dean heads to the middle. Kuipers! Easily saved by Galese. Flag stayed down. I'm with you, Desan. I thought Dean was off that time. Assistant referee did not. Play quickly underway. Galese looks long for McGuire, but he's out jumped by the 6'3", 6'4" Jack Elliott. You also know Christopher Cupps is listed at 6'1". He has had a growth spurt since then.
I don't. He's definitely not 6'1". Okay, I can tell from here in the booth that he is not 6'1".
6'3", we'll call it, maybe still growing.
For sure.
Elliott to the near side for Andrew Gutman. Gutman playing a ball forward, wanted Kuipers, couldn't find him. Orlando only clear as far as Brian Gutierrez. Philip Zinkernagel, right half space. Zinkernagel, speculative shot up and over.
Yeah, speculative shot for sure, but from what we saw last week off that free kick, why not? Also, even what we've seen today, most of the Fire's chances have come up really close inside the box based off combination play or maybe a longer direct ball. This time Zinkernagel opted to wind up, take one from about 25 out. So you have to keep things, or I should say you have to keep the defense on their toes, and you never know what to expect from an offense or from a team, and that's really good. I'm glad Zinkernagel took that shot.
Galese just got a warning from the referee for taking his time over that goal kick, which has been turned back over to the Fire. For those at home who track such things, in all previous home games, Greg Berhalter has debuted a new sweatshirt that then goes on sale and sells well in the club shop. He has not gone that route tonight. He's in all black, black pants, black long sleeve mock turtleneck, and a black vest. So Greg Berhalter changing up his routines, hoping for a different result tonight as well.
He's in stealth mode, right? He's in black ops mode. He's straight up in military mode. He's locked in.
No more fun sweatshirts until the Fire win a home game.
Had to switch it up.
That first one, though, that cream sweatshirt, that was a really nice look. I saw numerous fans at the next home game wearing it as Orihel blasts this ball down the far side. Jonathan Dean on his horse. And on this Kentucky Derby day, he couldn't quite run it down.
I was wondering where he gets those shirts, and I still have to do my research, man. But those are very unique. Like, man, you know, I see a lot of merch in the stands, but I don't ever see, you know, what Greg's wear. He's got the exclusive access.
He's got the sweatshirts. He's got the shoes.
Oh, man. That Nike deal is nice, boy, I tell you what.
Especially in a league that is outfitted by Adidas officially. Here's Jonathan Bamba in midfield, heading for Sergio Orihel. Here in the 31st minute at Soldier Field. Fire have had the better of the chances in a scoreless game. Jonathan Dean, Mauricio Pineda far side, turning back all the way back for Cups. Near midfield, everybody except Chris Brady is in the Orlando half. Sergio Orihel with some space. Floats it to the near side, Andrew Gutman. Gutman closed down by Freeman, and he'll go back at midfield to Jack Elliott. Shots are 11-6 in favor of the Fire, 5-1 on goal. Galese with 5 saves between the pipes for the Lions. Orihel looking for the switch to the near side. Has Gutman lined up. Gutman just does keep that in ahead of Freeman. Gutman wins a throw. Fire have threatened plenty this evening. Nothing in the back of the net yet, though, for either team. McGuire clears. Luis Muriel will try to start the counter. And here goes Angulo, but Christopher Cups.
There he is.
Read it well. Some soccer IQ shown off by the 16-year-old.
Yeah, listen, when in doubt, kick it out is what they say, or they used to say when you're younger, when they weren't trying to build out the back and things of that nature. But really quality decision right there from Christopher Cups. Listen, we don't need much from him tonight. Listen to Jack Elliott, communicate with Jack Elliott, be smart back there, take very limited to low risk, and good things will happen.
Also doesn't hurt that you've got a former center back as your coach, so Greg Berhalter certainly knows the ins and outs of that. Berhalter,
sure.
Of course, with experience over in England and Germany for the U.S. national team. Big part of that run at the 2002 World Cup.
Man, what a run that was.
If only not for the hand of Torsten Frings, we might have even greater things to say about it. Ball through the lines. Here goes McGuire, edge of the area. McGuire took too heavy a touch, and it's scooped up by Brady. He had Angulo on the cutback as well. I think the Fire got lucky there.
Yeah, Fire got away with one, and that's how dangerous this Orlando City side can be. It doesn't take much. They are very potent, and all it takes is one quick activity and they've certainly broken behind the Fire back line a few times this evening.
Clearly the Fire are interested in getting the ball to Andrew Gutman on this near side, anticipating that, as we talked about, that's where the space might be, but Alex Freeman has been relatively reserved in his positioning so far, the young Orlando City right back.
Yeah, most of the night. You know, he did get a chance or found himself in a pretty advantageous position early in the game, but hasn't really found too much joy since that moment.
He passes infield for Smith. Araujo fades out to the near side. He's looked okay the last 15 minutes after limping a bit in the opening exchanges. 11 and a half minutes plus stoppage time until the half. No big chances in a while here at Soldier Field. Will the Fire rue that fact? Mauricio Pineda looking for the big switch. Zinkernagel's out on the far sideline. And Gulo dropping back. And Gulo's been almost a left wing back out of possession at times. Orlando defending in a 5-3-2 rather than a 4-4-2, as is their custom this evening.
Yeah, the Fire really stretched them out quite a bit this game, and Gulo hasn't got us forward as much as he's used to. Obviously, Freeman still tries to leak out, but right now they've stifled both sides the Fire have of Orlando City's attack, and it's been really good to see.
Even in possession, it's less of a 4-4-2 really, and it's more of a 3-4-3 as Pasalic plays as a right-sided inside forward, Muriel on the left, and then Gulo as that left wing back, though certainly with the license to attack. Errant pass by Orlando finds Elliott. Neither team able to play through the lines particularly well over the last 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, but the Fire throughout the first half have found little pockets, as I'm looking at Bamba right now, in between the midfield line and the defensive line. He's been finding good spots in there to pick up balls and combine with Guti, Zinkernaga, and Kuipers.
Gutierrez, though, with a turnover that is followed up by Mauricio Pineda committing a foul against Kyle Smith.
Something I haven't seen in a while, especially at a Fire game. We're witnessing the wave. Alex, we're witnessing the wave go around Soldier Field.
In the first half, there's no need for that. McGuire looking for a long ball. Brady charged out. Big collision and a big decision for our referee.
He didn't touch him.
What color's the card? It's red.
He didn't touch him. Oh, my goodness.
Chris Brady came to the edge of the area. He didn't get the ball. He got the man, and the Fire goalkeeper is sent off here in the 36th minute. Once again, it's out of nowhere, and I believe this is going to be outside the area, not a penalty.
It's going to be interesting to see the replay. I don't think he touched Duncan McGuire. I think he ran into Christopher Cupps.
Well, we'll have to see a replay once we get one, but Brady, to be honest, is not offering that much of a defense of himself.
True.
He has already taken the gloves off and walking toward the bench. We're getting a replay right now, but this is just over the head of Cupps. It's a long ball. McGuire brings it down, and Brady...
No, he didn't touch him. He ran it, in my opinion, it looks like he ran into Christopher Cupps.
Let's see here again. Brady...
Okay, he did touch him.
touches both guys. He runs into both of them. This red card's going to stand.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be a free kick outside of the 18, but Chris Brady is off. Jeff Gall is going to make his 2025 debut. The only question is, who will it be for? Meanwhile, Duncan McGuire still receiving medical treatment after that collision.
Yeah, it's interesting to see. This came strictly just from I won't even say a clearance, but just a straight direct ball from Orlando City.
And Brady's going to hang around for a moment. This is going to go to VAR, who have quite a bit to figure out here. One, is it a red card? And two, is it in the area? Because, Desan, if this is a penalty and not a free kick, Chris Brady's going to get to stay on the field, and he'll just get a yellow instead. Referee is going to go have a look. So Brady, I think, might believe this is about to be a penalty kick instead. Lots to sort out here. We don't get to hear the VAR here in the radio booth, so everybody waiting to see what this is. So the first question, is this a red for serious foul play? And the second question is this a penalty kick? And right now, Desan, looking at the replay we're seeing, this might be a penalty.
Well, it's certainly borderline. The infraction seemingly happens like right either before the line or as Duncan McGuire is going into the box. With that being said, we talk about serious foul play. Brady is left the ground, right? He's come out as the ball was bouncing. His boot does come across the stomach and the chest area of Duncan McGuire. So who knows? It's really up to the referee to determine if this will be determined as a serious foul play.
I might have to correct myself here. I think I saw the referee point to the spot. So what I believe is that this is a penalty plus a red card independently. We're about to get the call from our match official. We'll listen in.
I don't think it's a red card, though, in my opinion.
The red card stands. The penalty does not. So that's the decision. Chris Brady is sent off. It is not a penalty. And that's to the Fire's disadvantage. They're down to 10. Their goalkeeper is off. Jeff Gall will come in. And we talk about ruining missed chances, Desan Robinson. The Fire would feel a lot less bad if they were up a goal or two right now.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And, it's certainly disappointing that Chris Brady has been sent off in this moment, and Jeff Gall will come in to replace him. But, once again, it comes out of nothing. Could this have been prevented? by players being a little bit more ready for that long ball. Possibly, could Chris Brady have come out in a different manner? Could he have let it play out, and Christopher Cupps get back? Very, very possibly, but at the end of the day, referee Victor Rivas has said what he saw from Chris Brady was a bit reckless, was a bit too much, and Chris Brady has been shown the door, unfortunately.
Jeff Gall will be making his Major League Soccer debut. Gall, the Bartlett, Illinois native, went over to play in Scandinavia in 2016, played 14 games for Fire 2 last year, and it's going to be Jonathan Bamba who is withdrawn from the game. So Bamba will go off to be replaced by Jeff Gall. Likely that's going to be the Fire switching to a 4-3-2 of sorts, or even a 4-4-1, and that's tough on Jonathan Bamba to be the player who has to be sacrificed here, but a winger being the choice makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it definitely does, and it's always a difficult situation when a keeper gets a red card, somebody who unfortunately has to be sacrificed, and Jonathan Bamba in this particular match is the person who has been called out. So nevertheless, the Fire still have a game to play. We are in the 41st minute. A lot has happened over the last few minutes with the red card and whether it was a PK or not. Nevertheless, Brady is out. The Fire are playing a man down. It's been a tough game and a half for the Fire.
Things not getting any easier at home or in the last month for the men in red, as their man in green has been shown the door. Jeff Gall, 32-year-old, is in between the posts now and will start by facing a free kick from 19 yards at most from his goal. Gall, most recently of Degerfors in Sweden, where he played 24 games, 75 total in Sweden, across a few different stops. Luis Muriel is over the free kick. Ball is touching the 18-yard line. Muriel will go for goal and shoot up and over, and everyone inside Soldier Field, no more than number 25, the most recent entrant, exhales.
Yeah, collective breath of fresh air right there after Muriel's free kick goes over the top. But number one, the thing that needs to happen right now is the Fire need to finish out this first half. Can they get out of this first half without conceding a goal, regroup mentally, regroup as a team as they go into halftime, and figure out how do they get out of this game and not conceding a goal?
Jonathan Dean has come over to the left side, so it looks like essentially the Fire are going to play with a back three for now of Cupps, Elliott, and Gutman. Zinkernagel on the right, Dean on the left, Orihel, Pineda, Gutierrez in the middle, and Kuipers up top. We'll see how that evolves.
Yeah, but the reason Dean has come to this side is because, as we know, Orlando's most dangerous side is their right with Freeman and Pasalic. So Dean has dropped in to help out a little bit more on that right-hand side because that side is so potent.
So you now got the two Fire starting fullbacks next to each other on the left side of the defense. Cupps now has Zinkernagel outside of him to the right. And obviously it's a minor detail at this point, but you certainly did not anticipate the 16-year-old center back having to play with the team's starting right winger as his outside fullback. The test only getting harder for the high schooler. Into the area, top of the area, shouts for handball by Orlando. Instead, it's Andrew Gutman who is fouled and a free kick.
Looked like it might have been a handball, maybe popped up and hit a Fire player's hand and right outside the box, but nevertheless, play on by the referee and foul committed on the Fire. And now Jack Elliott standing over the ball, trying to waste as much time as possible and see this team into halftime.
Steel is a proud partner of Chicago Fire FC. Visit steelusa.com. That's STIHL USA.com for more information. Ball played back to Elliott, sending forward into the feet of Kuipers. How might this game be different if Ugo Kuipers had scored one of those big chances he had in the game's opening 15 minutes? Kuipers looking to play this in behind for Zinkernagel. Big recovery challenge made there by the Orlando City captain, Robin Janssen. Fire fans want punishment, but Janssen got the ball first and was not moving at a particularly high speed when he collided with Zinkernagel.
Yeah, well, fans are clamoring for anything right now simply just because of Brady's red card. And obviously, when you're down 10 men or down a man, it is very difficult for you out there. So they are trying to get any call that they can, especially to get an opportunity to get on the board when normally those things would happen when you're down a man.
You wonder if right now the Fire would take a 4th 0-0 and 5 for Orlando. Kuipers lost his footing after Pineda tried to tee him up, trying to navigate things. Orlando with Brecalo. Brecalo was pulled down. Brian Gutierrez
That's not a yellow,
is in the book.
That's not a yellow in my opinion. Yes, it's a professional foul. I didn't think it warranted a yellow.
Gutierrez joins Orehel in the referee's notebook alongside Brady. And it's a handful of jersey with the right-handed Gutierrez that might have made that an easy choice for the referee, even if the force of said grasp was not particularly high. Fire just trying to get into halftime here in the 45th minute at 0-0 in a game they will feel they should have been leading. We're also about to get a whole bunch of first half stoppage time. Duncan McGuire turning on the edge of the area for Orlando. McGuire to the middle. Ball bounced off the heel of Gutman. Anywhere will do for Pineda, who sends it out the near side for an Orlando throw. They're in a hurry. Fourth officials board is up 5 minutes. 5 extra minutes at the end of the first half.
So surprising, Alex. I've seen 8, 7, 10 extra time minutes for less than what we've had. A red card, VAR check.
Muriel cut back across the face. Freeman was following up. Dean cleared outside the goal mouth. Straight into the air by Cups. Flicked on by Pineda. Unable to get clear was Kuipers. Zinkernagel trying to get anywhere as he's shoulder to shoulder, chest to chest with Brecalo. The referee, after a slight delay, points throw-in Fire. A throw-in that I doubt will be taken expeditiously.
Yeah, every moment this ball is out of play, the Fire will be walking and touching the ball ever so slightly in a different direction.
It's actually going to be a free kick. They'll call a foul on Brecalo against Zinkernagel.
Still, who's going to take it?
Zinkernagel's going to leave it, I think, for Cups, and this might be a case where you tell the big young man to just put his boot through it.
I wouldn't be surprised if he left it for Gall to come take it at this point in time.
Kuipers 1 on 4 trying to bring that down, and not surprisingly he couldn't, but Orehell's onto the loose ball. Pineda forward, space on the far side, Zinkernagel. Cutting back onto his left, he's up against Angulo. That ball backwards and a chance for Muriel to turn and go, looking for Duncan McGuire. McGuire sticking out a long leg was Elliott. The danger not gone. Here comes Angulo charging forward. Angulo edge of the area. Still Angulo. His shot is spilled by Gall. Picked up in the 6-yard box by Gutman. And Gutman clears as far as Alex Freeman. Shaky first save in MLS for Jeff Gall, but still a milestone moment. Muriel 25 yards from goal, dead center.
Yeah, not the best hands there from Gall, but he's just been introduced into the game, and he didn't parry it or mess up enough where it fell into the feet of an Orlando City player. Great job getting there and following up by Andrew Gutman.
Angulo into the area. Angulo to the middle, looking for Araujo. Cups runs into Elliott, and Cups clears.
Yeah, Cups is doing what he can do to stay in this game and keep Orlando City off of the board. So shout out once again to the 16-year-old doing all that he can to get that ball out of the box.
Fire are in full penalty kill mode right now, just trying to get into the locker room and regroup after the 36th minute red card to Chris Brady. Orlando has everyone encroaching on the Fire area, and Gulo from distance, Muriel, Gall, I think, had it covered as the Colombian shot just over the top, and Luis Muriel is fancying his chances as this half wears on.
Yeah, and that's what unfortunately you're probably going to see a lot of in this second half. A lot of Orlando City with the ball, a lot of Orlando City rotating the ball from one side to the other, and probably a lot of shots from Orlando City as well. So the Fire fans have to be ready, and obviously the Fire defense has got to be ready for a second half that may not be as entertaining as the first maybe 30 or 35 minutes worth.
Kuipers had a look at an open goal with his left foot and scuffed a shot. Sergio Orehel flicked one to the back post on a corner that Kuipers couldn't turn home. The Fire peppered Galese with 5 shots in the opening 20 minutes on target. No goals. And now down a man. Pineda looking to win that back off of Pasalic. He did very well, did Mauricio Pineda. We've played 3.5 minutes of a minimum of 5. Jonathan Dean with space on the near side. One last salvo maybe for the Fire in the opening 45 minutes. Gutman positioned a bit deeper, not on the same page with Dean in their defense. Those two are used to being about 50 yards away from each other. Quickly back into play, Orlando looking to finish the half strong as Kuipers crashes in against Freeman.
You talked about Freeman and how effective he's been in this game. A little bit early on, a little bit less as the half has gone on, but you typically don't have a 6'3" right back attacking down the flank.
Into the final of the 5 minimum added minutes. Brecalo outside. Is Angulo onside? He is. Muriel curves one into the near post. Araujo couldn't get there. It's out for a goal kick, and that will probably be that. Referee in conversation with his assistant, and now with Duncan McGuire. I imagine Jeff Gall will send this ball into the night and send this game to the interval. Gall, big moment for him tonight. I'm sure, though, Desan, this is not how Jeff Gall would have envisioned making his Major League Soccer debut in his hometown.
No, not at all. But once again, you have to always be ready, right? Hasn't sniffed the field at all this year.
We play on as that goal kick did not end the half. Kuipers spins out of play. It's an Orlando City throw. We still play on. And now the referee points to the center circle, and that will do it. Well, there weren't any goals, but there was a red card in the 36 minutes to Chris Brady. The Fire dominated the opening chances. They couldn't score. They'll regret it now as the game is deadlocked at the half, and the Fire might be just fighting for a draw here at home tonight. We will take a break as we head to the half here from Soldier Field where it's 0-0. You're listening to Chicago Fire Soccer on WLS AM 890. Alongside Desan Robinson, I'm Alex Campbell, filling in for Max Toma and Max Anderson on this Saturday evening. Thanks for joining us, where the Fire are level on the score but down a man on the field. Chris Brady having been sent off in the 36th minute. Let's see how that changes the outlook of this match. A match, Desan, that the Fire had the upper hand in for the opening half hour and now have seen it slip through their fingers.
Yeah, they have just a little bit, and obviously a red card does not help at all. Listen, the Fire are winless at home against Orlando. They've never beat them at Soldier Field or at home. So that's hopefully something that will change tonight. But that red card is going to be a little bit more difficult.
5 wins all time against Orlando City, but none of those came in this building. Angulo on the attack on the left wing. Back for the left back, Brecalo. Orlando, like we saw at the end of the first half, are pushing everybody into the attacking third, trying to really compress the space. A quick recap of the teams on the field. First, for the visiting Orlando City, it is Galese in goal, a back four of Freeman, Schlegel, Janssen, and Brecalo. Midfield pairing, Araujo and Smith. Pasalic on the right wing, Angulo the left, Muriel and McGuire, the strike partnership. Muriel giving and going with Angulo. Muriel through the legs of Cups.
No.
Referee not interested, and that's cleared away as Muriel went down, but I'm not sure how much Christopher Cups had to do with it. And now we're going to get a quick stoppage in play as Mauricio Pineda, I believe, is asking for a simulation yellow card.
Yeah.
There was contact, so that's not going to happen, but just it wasn't the sort of contact that's ever going to yield a penalty kick as Cups got out of the way in time. Speaking of the Fire, Jeff Gall has subbed in. He's in goal. The defenders are Jonathan Dean, Christopher Cups, Jack Elliott, and Andrew Gutman, though the arrangement of them has changed up a bit. Dean now playing almost as a left wing back on the outside of Gutman as an extra center back. The midfield trio is Sergio Orejel, Mauricio Pineda, and Brian Gutierrez, with Ugo Kuipers, the lone striker, and Philip Zinkernagel pushed out right as a sort of wing back on what is now the near side as the Fire in all red go left to right. In this second half, Orlando in all purple, right to left. Muriel in behind again, cross through the 6-yard box, cleared away by Gutman, and clearly that's where Orlando want to go. They have identified this space behind Zinkernagel and Cups as the place they want to attack, and to be honest, Desan, not surprising given that those two players are a little thin on experience playing defense in Major League Soccer.
Yeah, you said it right, and obviously Jonathan Dean being switched over to the left-hand side of the Fire defense to battle with Pulisic and Freeman over there. So, like you said, Orlando have identified this right-hand side of the Fire as a point of attack.
Luis Muriel, number 9 in purple on the ball. We're going to see a lot of that, I think, the rest of this game. Muriel cutting in field. Handing off in the center to Smith. Smith back here to Schlegel. Janssen, the captain.
It's very tight here.
Now, hard to play a high line like the Fire would prefer to when you're going to have only maybe 10 or 15% of the ball the rest of this game. Pasalic. Watched by Orehel, back for Araujo. Returning to the starting lineup tonight and took a knock early, but he's looked fine otherwise. Number 5 in purple. Brekalo, the left back, down the near side up against Zinkernagel. Brekalo cutting past the Dane. Brekalo chipping to the far post. Freeman is there. Goal came out. Referee points for a goal kick. That was a nervy moment for the Fire substitute goalkeeper. Freeman just could not make solid contact.
Certainly a nervy moment, as you said. Orlando City attacking down this right-hand side of the Fire. Brekalo cuts in and tries to find Freeman at the back post, who actually is free and open and gets away from Jonathan Dean ever so slightly. But I think the onus of Jeff Gall coming out, making himself as big as possible, throws Freeman off. Doesn't really want that smoke, as they say, to put his head in there and get a goal. And the ball ends up out of bounds across the goal line for a goal kick.
In American football, they call that a business decision. Meanwhile, handball is called against Angulo. Pretty obvious to everybody in the building and to the referee as well. Free kick for the Fire, about 5 yards outside their own 18-yard box. Taken quickly by Cups. I'm not sure Greg Berhalter would have loved that. Kuipers, he's going to have to work real hard tonight the rest of the way. Not like he doesn't put in a good shift every night, but going to be more important now as Elliott almost gives this away and Cups heads into the night sky. Danger only temporarily alleviated.
I'm not sure why Jack Elliott didn't let that ball just go back to Jeff Gall. We're talking about you're down a man. You got to be smart. Surprised that the captain and MLS veteran didn't think a little bit better in that moment.
Orehel is in possession but has nowhere to go. Here's Jonathan Dean on the far side. Gutman just hammers it down the far touchline. It's going to stay in bounds. Going to be a bit of a chess match between Greg Berhalter and Oscar Pareja for as long as this game stays 0-0, as Orlando will certainly look to take the attacking initiative and the Fire will try to keep legs fresh.
Yeah, and let's not sleep on the Fire's ability to attack in transition and catch this Orlando City side off guard. Yes, Orlando is up a man, but we have seen games that have come down to situations where a team is down a man, but they still are able to find a goal or even win a game.
Gutierrez with the pocket of space in midfield. Room for Zinkernagel, out to the right side. Zinkernagel charging at Brekalo. Zinkernagel edge of the area. Zinkernagel shifting, cutting back. No one there. And Angulo can carry clear. Araujo into a traffic jam. Here's Gutierrez. Mauricio Pineda, edge of the area. Pineda will have a go. Takes a deflection and hits the post. The shot from Pineda was going to miss the target by a full 10 yards. It collided with the midsection of Janssen and careened onto the near post. That close to the strangest of opening goals. Instead, it's a corner for the Fire.
And they say you don't shoot, you don't score. And this is why I tell the players that I coach, just let one go at times, because you never know what is going to happen in front of that goal. That ball caroms off of Janssen and almost finds the back of net. Gillespie, and this Fire team could have been up 1-0, down a man.
Zinkernagel will take an outswinger from the near side. You mentioned the transition pace of this game that the Fire can have. Is this a night for Glasgow? Is it for Haile Selassie? For right now, it's Zinkernagel to take this out-swinging corner from the near corner. Zinkernagel to the near post. Heads go up, and it's cleared away by Pasalic. Gutman couldn't collect the loose ball. Straight up in the air it goes. Turning here is Gutierrez. Brian Gutierrez looking forward. Zinkernagel just outside the penalty area to the right. Pineda, Orehel edge of the area, in behind. Here's Zinkernagel to the end line. The cutback took a deflection off an Orlando City boot and hopped away. Gutierrez into the area. Brian Gutierrez. Curler goes up and over, but some good initiative shown by the Fire. Down a man, but not down in their spirit, Desan.
Yeah, you said it right. And this play, as they are gathering themselves, Orehel finds Zinkernagel with a little bit of a wall pass behind the defense of Orlando City. The ball finds itself back on the other side of the field at Guti's feet as he cuts in and tries to just find the far post of Gillespie's goal, hits it over. But as I said, don't be surprised if the Fire don't be surprised if the Fire find themselves with opportunities to score, even though they're down a man.
Name to watch on the bench right now is the number 10 for Orlando, the designated player Martin Ojeda. in a game where right now, Desan, Orlando are effectively playing with 3 center backs and 2 fairly defensive central midfielders. There's a lot of opportunity for Oscar Pareja to turn up the attacking temperature if he chooses. On the far side here, Muriel dropping deep. Handing to Smith. Smith exchanging with Freeman on his way forward. Switch to the near side, left wing, Angulo. Angulo with some room, 77 on his back. Ahead to Muriel. Muriel, the cutback. Making a hockey goalkeeper save of sorts was Christopher Cups. Can Zinkernagel get out of trouble? He can by drawing a free kick against Angulo. That's some veteran nous there shown by 11 in red.
It certainly was, and I didn't think it was the wisest decision to try to outrun and out-dribble Angulo on his left-hand side, but just chops the ball back toward the middle of the field. Zinkernagel does, and is able to draw just a clever foul on Angulo, who was like, I didn't touch him. And, you know, many would say that it wasn't a foul. I would certainly say it was, especially as a Fire fan.
Orlando are preparing their first substitution, and I might have just spoken something into existence. We'll get back to that. Quick check around Major League Soccer, especially those in-progress Eastern Conference games we mentioned earlier. Philadelphia got a late winner from Mikel Ua to win 2-1 over Montreal. Columbus beats Charlotte 4-2. DC 2-1 over Colorado. Inter Miami 4-1 over the Red Bulls. Minnesota leads Austin 2-0 at the same point as our game. San Diego up 2 on Dallas 30 minutes into that one, and it will indeed be Martin Ojeda entering the match at the next opportunity for Orlando. Gutman under pressure from Tosilic, goes back for Jack Elliott. And now room to turn, Orehel. Here's Philip Zinkernagel. Zinkernagel, a chance to run here at Brekalo. Zinkernagel leaving it for Orehel, drifting out wide right. Pineda, center of the pitch, into the Orlando half. Gutman playing more as a left-sided center back now of sorts in this reduced formation. Orehel nowhere to go, lumps one forward, wanted Kuipers, couldn't find him, it's through to Galese.
Actually, the ball may have been too good into Kuipers, as Kuipers was not ready for that threaded ball to his feet from Orehel. Orehel had a little bit more vision at that point in time than Kuipers, but as you can see, when the Fire do get the ball, Orlando City's not really pressing them. They're letting them have possession of the ball, which is certainly plays in favor of the Fire for the rest of this second half.
Brekalo near side. I'll be interested to see who Ojeda comes in for. I imagine it's one of the central midfielders. As getting to the end line is Angulo. His cutback couldn't find Muriel, his target. Pineda clears away, and it's an Orlando City corner in the near corner on this left side, just down below us.
Yeah, listen, Zinkernagel versus Angulo in a one-on-one situation. The other way around, when Zinkernagel's on the offense, it may be in Zinkernagel's favor, but when the opposite is here, Angulo's running at Zinkernagel, is probably not going to be a good look for the Fire's offseason signing.
It is one of those midfield two. Kyle Smith is subbed off, and he is replaced by Martin Ojeda, the 26-year-old Argentine native, most recently of Godoy Cruz in his homeland. Played for Ferro, Racing, Huracan, and Godoy Cruz in that career. This corner swung in, no one's there. It careens off of a Fire player last, says the referee, and it'll go out for a corner on the far side, though I think that might have gone off an Orlando leg last.
Yeah, I know they're going to take a look at it, but really dangerous ball put into the box. It actually bounces at the top
Mauricio
of the
Pineda gets his touch on this, and then a diving header by Orlando couldn't quite get there, so it is a corner out the other side. Muriel to take again quickly, an outswinger this time. Muriel looking for the head of Araujo, found it. Swing and a miss by Brekalo, and partially cleared by Orehel. Brekalo leaving it here, Duncan McGuire. Luis Muriel far side, chipping into the area. Pineda wins the header. Farther by Orehel, and Kuipers a one-touch let-off for Jonathan Dean. Orlando winner right back. Gutman stabs it away. Pineda, Fire just trying to get out of traffic here. They are swarmed in their own defensive third. Jeff Gall does the smart thing and just clears into space down the near sideline. It'll bounce out off of Greg Berhalter, who sends it away the other side. Chicago's head coach clearly frustrated with that decision from his backup goalkeeper.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, was it the worst decision? No. I mean, yes, you can keep possession. Yes, I think it was Christopher Cups or Zinkernagel was out here on the right-hand side. Could he have kept possession and built out of the back? Yes. But at the end of the day, you're down a man. You don't want to risk anything in the back as best as possible.
Sliced backwards by Cups. Gall will pick this up. No real calls for a back pass by Orlando. Ojeda, second consecutive match coming off the bench after starting the first 9 of the season. He was replaced by McGuire in the 11. Free kick for the Fire, won by Zinkernagel. Right near midfield.
He's doing a great job, Zinkernagel is, by drawing those fouls. And looks like Omar Glasgow is about to come in the game. I wouldn't be surprised if it was for Zinkernagel, who I just think the matchup on his right-hand side, even though he is so potent and so great offensively, I think it's okay to concede right now.
To the far side, that got to the head of Jonathan Dean. Gutierrez crowded out. Up into the air it goes. Ojeda, veteran move, heads it back for Galese. I almost wonder would you put Zinkernagel in the midfield in this situation, somewhere where he's not going to have to run as much, but where you can keep his quality on the ball on the field?
I mean, possibly, but at the end of the day, maybe you would switch Mauricio Pineda out there, but
he also just looks gassed.
Yeah,
does
it's
Zinkernagel.
It's just a lot, and right now I think the matchup is too much for him with Angulo, especially trying to attack and defend, right, on both sides.
Let's see what the board says. And it says no, it's going to be Jonathan Dean.
Wow.
So
okay.
I think what we're going to see here, I would guess, my prediction is that Pineda will drop into the back line and Gutman will go out to that left wingback role that we just saw Dean playing. Here comes Omari Glasgow. He'll have some instructions along with him. Zinkernagel for now is just going to switch over to that left side and match up against Freeman. Maybe a bit of a better situation having the speed of Gutman inside rather than Cups for the, shall we say, slightly winded Philip Zinkernagel.
Just a tad bit, and I obviously, I was wrong. I really thought Zinkernagel might be the one that was sacrificed in this particular setting, but certainly a better defensive matchup with Omar Glasgow being out here with Angulo.
Ojeda near side, puts a left-footed cross in. It's flicked on by Muriel, and sticking out a right leg was Freeman. The resulting shot well off target. Goal kick here in the 61st minute of play. It is still 0-0. The big moments of the game, early chances for Kuipers, and a red card to Chris Brady in the 36th minute that reduced the Fire to 10 men. Orlando City have not been able to unlock the Fire since, at least not yet. As of right now, it would be a 4th 0-0 in 5 games for Orlando, but it would be a 5th consecutive clean sheet. Jeff Gall, off to our left, takes the goal kick into the Chicago sky on this Saturday evening. Thanks for joining us here on AM 890 WLS. Ojeda getting forward for Orlando. Ojeda has a go and couldn't quite get the shot on target. Had Gall worried, but you do think, Desan, that we might see some more efforts. I think we called that earlier one in the first half from Muriel speculative. This one was as well, but you can't blame Ojeda for having a go.
No, and it was a nice long direct touch ball from Angulo into the stride of Ojeda. With his momentum, the way he was going away from the goal, and I think he understood that he probably had 2 or 3 Fire players bearing down on him. His best option at that point in time was to try to take an early shot and test Jeff Gall, especially as he's still relatively fresh and new in this game.
Fire throw-in right at the midfield stripe. Glasgow quickly is going to be told to retake it from the defensive side of the line. He was 5 yards or so into the Orlando half when he released that ball. I think it was also a foul throw anyway, so nothing wrong from the Fire perspective of him taking this again into the feet of Kuipers. Orehel looking to stretch the legs here of Omari Glasgow. No one in the middle, though. Glasgow has to do this himself, and he ran out of room along the end line. Fire fans want a foul. It won't be one. It's just a goal kick for Orlando. And the supporters section behind Pedro Galese not most pleased.
No, not much there in that contact by Angulo. He did usher him out of bounds, and Omar Glasgow actually did get around him, so pretty good matchup there, as I mentioned before, between those two.
Now a defensive challenge for Glasgow. Angulo goes by him. Angulo into the area, cutting back. Elliott clears. Only as far as Brecalo. His shot closed down and blocked by Mauricio Pineda.
I'm pretty surprised Angulo didn't try to take that shot for himself. He had such a clear path to the goal. Yes, it wasn't the best angle, but nobody was coming near him. Maybe he would have acted like he was going to cross it and just shot it near post or in between the legs of Jeff Gall, because it was so crowded in the middle of the box where he put the ball.
Here come Orlando again, trying to get through traffic. Nothing there on the far side for Duncan McGuire. Sergio Orejel surrounded.
He can get out of it, though.
Navigating. No foul, says the referee. Orlando have it back with Angulo on the near side.
Yeah, no options as he was trying to get out of the back.
Muriel cutting infield. Muriel ran into Gutierrez. Couldn't keep possession. This ball deflects to the near side where it's just kept in by Angulo. And then a foul committed by Orejel, who is on a yellow card. He and Brian Gutierrez are each in the book and need to be mindful the rest of the way.
And as we're looking at the sideline, as the camera is pandering to the sideline, Oscar Pareja seemingly pretty nervous, kind of clenching his teeth, because I know he smells that this is a great opportunity.
Omari Glasgow blocks a pass forward by Angulo. I don't know if anybody has had more touches in this game than number 77 in purple. Into the center circle, Rodrigo Schlegel, center back, striding forward, 35 yards from goal, right in the middle of the field. Hands to his partner Janssen. Now here's Brekalo, just left of center. Pasalic, haven't called his name much yet in this second half.
Yeah, just don't want him cutting inside on that left foot.
Forced wide, and good defending by Andrew Gutman, out muscling Muriel. Zinkernagel onto the loose ball.
Ole.
Nutmegs a player, and here he goes, Philip Zinkernagel. Zinkernagel past Araujo. Zinkernagel down the sideline. Does he have the gas? Still Zinkernagel.
Oh my gosh.
Putting on the skates on Araujo. Zinkernagel back to the middle. Here's Brian Gutierrez. Gutierrez into the area. Gutierrez sidesteps a challenge. Goes down. Pineda. Far side Zinkernagel, edge of the area. Zinkernagel loses possession. All that for naught in the end.
Maybe he ran out of energy after that long 30-yard stride down the left-hand side.
Referee says no foul on Elliott. Contact with Muriel. We play on. Brian Gutierrez. Kuipers couldn't settle the ball. Can he keep it in? Yes. Near side corner. Kuipers wins a corner for the Fire. Industrious as always by Chicago's number 9. And everyone catch your breath. It's a corner kick.
Yeah, you said catch your breath. What a great run, an exciting run by Zinkernagel with the Ole Meg through the legs of Freeman. Takes on Araujo. Gets past Brekalo. Gets back. Shakes Araujo again. Man, what a show. What a display of gifted dribbling right there on that left-hand side by Zinkernagel.
Supporters section cheering on the Fire here as Zinkernagel trots to the near side. To take this outswinging corner kick, the Fire will have no better chance tonight than on set pieces. They came close to striking earlier. Can they here? Zinkernagel, outswinger, flicked down by Elliott to the back post. It's there. Kuiper, saved by Gallese.
And that's 2 times in this game that Gallese has come up big off of corners. 2 times Kuipers has had an opportunity at that back post. They must have studied that. They must have known that Orlando are a little susceptible on corner kicks, especially in those areas. And Kuipers is just on the doorstep again of a great opportunity. The league's leading goal scorer. He is hungry for another one.
6th save of the night for Gallese, the first of this second half, and another Elliott to Kuipers corner routine. On the other side, it'll be an in-swinger from Zinkernagel. Zinkernagel right on top of the goalkeeper. Ball straight in the air by Brekalo. Unable to clear it first for Orlando, and then putting his left foot through it was Schlegel. Gutman wins a header near midfield, back forward. Elliott trying to track this down as he tangles with Alex Freeman. Fire could be out of position here as Elliott's got to get back. Orlando trying to transition, and they just can't. They give it away to Omari Glasgow. Here's Mauricio Pineda, edge of the center circle, ahead to Zinkernagel. Zinkernagel cutting inside. Philip Zinkernagel saved down to his right by Gallese. Kuipers followed up, and Gallese was diving again. Referee says goal kick. Was the ball out of play before Kuipers? He's been overruled. The referee has been overruled by the assistant on the far side. It'll be another corner. Zinkernagel putting on the moves. Gallese saw it late, and he makes the save with his forehead to deny Hugo Kuipers.
And you said it, bringing Zinkernagel to the middle of the pitch. He right now is the spark for this men in red side. He's getting past defenders from Orlando. He's making guys miss. He is truly the spark and the one who is igniting this Fire attack.
Can they turn that spark to a flame on this corner? They'll take it short. Gutierrez back for Zinkernagel, not on the same page. Zinkernagel trying to get around Pasalic. Still Zinkernagel, he'll win yet another corner. And hopefully this one creates a bit more danger. Don't mind the short corner, but I think this might be a get it into the mixer situation.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, tried to switch it up a little bit with Guti. Tried to play short. Just the ball back to Zinkernagel from Guti was not the best, and that's what slowed progress.
Zinkernagel, two hands to the sky, delivers again to the middle. Fire player goes down, referee isn't interested. Gutierrez, 35 yards from goal in the center. Here's Amari Glasgow. Glasgow forced back, they'll reset with Jeff Gall. Gall out to the far side, Andrew Gutman. Fire suddenly have the momentum despite their lack of personnel relative to their opposition right now. Orehel, Christopher Cups into the center circle. Cups, Gutierrez tried to flick it for Kuipers. That didn't come off. Here's Luis Muriel, but he's a bit by himself at the moment.
Looked like it could have been a handball there.
Leaving it behind for Pasalic. Here's Angulo on the far side. The right side now up against Gutman, and it's going to be a free kick. And I think Andrew Gutman will go into the book. He will. It's the third Fire player to be yellow carded this evening, but I'm not sure 15 in red had a whole lot of a choice there. He got burned by Angulo. Free kick Orlando on the very far side, just along the touchline.
Yeah, Angulo just got to the ball right before Gutman, and actually Gutman got a touch on the ball as he lunged to try to intercept that pass, but ended up bringing down Angulo and force him to run into the boards with a bit of a somersault there. So as you said, not much he could do in that instance, especially with the speedy Angulo potentially going to get around him to score.
70th minute, each team has still only made one sub. They each have 4 subs and 2 windows remaining. Free kick, Orlando City. Luis Muriel is over the ball, which is noticeably about 2 yards ahead of the shaving cream the referee placed for it. Muriel looking to send this into the area. Curves it out. Swinger Kuipers wins the header and sends it 30 yards clear. What a shift put in tonight, more than usual even, by Ugo Kuipers. It's what you want to see, though, from your $12 million man.
You got it.
And I'll just say that depending on reports and what you do or don't believe, the Fire might be targeting another one of those. From also perhaps the same country in Northern Europe. Anyway, here's Rodrigo Schlegel looking for a crossfield ball to the near side. He wanted Ojeda. Glasgow mistimed the header. Ball ricochets around, and Sergio Orehel nutmegs Brecalo to get out of trouble. Leaves it here for Pineda. Here's Brian Gutierrez. Some room to run right down Main Street. Gutierrez out wide left for Zinkernagel. Facing up Freeman. Zinkernagel. His cross deflects. Gutierrez is on the chase. Schlegel's header found Freeman. Slices into the night sky. Duncan McGuire could only find Mauricio Pineda, but he's got no one to pass to at the moment. Pineda in midfield, finding Orehel. Sergio Orehel looking in behind towards Zinkernagel. Freeman has to play it, and he makes a quick pivot out of trouble, and he'll leave it for Schlegel as Orlando City reset here. 72nd minute, still 0-0 here in Chicago on WLS AM 890. Thanks for joining us. Dason Robinson and Alex Campbell in the broadcast booth. Chris Brady sent for an early shower in the 36th minute, but his teammates have held the clean sheet thus far. Fans trying to encourage this increasingly tired Fire team. Diving header away, Jack Elliott. Orehel giving and going with Kuipers. Kuipers is 1-on-6 right now.
That's why he's not really turning up the field. He's facing his own goal. He maintained possession as a good number 9 should when his back is facing the goal, but you would think he would have turned there if he had some help.
Jeff Gall on his left foot clears toward the far sideline. Header won easily by Pasalic, who's been really conspicuously absent in the attack in this game for Orlando. He was more dangerous when the Fire had 11 men on the field. But stop-start here. Orlando starting to get frustrated. Here goes Sergio Orehel through midfield and across the center stripe. Out to the near side, Amari Glasgow picks up the loose ball right in front of his head coach, Greg Berhalter. In field, Orehel giving and going with Glasgow. Near touchline, loose touch. Ran into Angulo, got it back. Orehel into midfield, dead center, 30 yards from goal, Pineda. Mauricio Pineda on his left foot. That's not his dominant foot, and he couldn't quite get the English on it he needed. His effort is applauded by the fans who throw the ball or try to throw the ball into the upper deck. It'll come back down the other way. Goal kick upcoming for Galese. Still no more subs for either team as of yet. Here we're in the 74th minute of play at Soldier Field.
Yeah, great job once again by Sergio Orahel, who has orchestrated the offense wonderfully this evening. He's been able to maintain possession, make right decisions, I would probably say 98% of the time, and make the right plays or right connecting passes 98% of the time.
Both managers seem to like the units they've got out there right now. Brekalo leaves the ball short for Omar Glasgow. What a challenge getting back and helping out defensively by Martin Ojeda. Across midfield goes Araujo. Into the feet of Luis Muriel. He's up against Christopher Cups.
Don't let him cut in.
Muriel cuts in on his right. Can't get a shot away. Araujo has a look, has a go into the back of Brian Gutierrez. Only as far, though, as Schlegel. Schlegel stepping forward, handing to Brekalo. Brekalo near side, left wing for Orlando with Ojeda. And Gulo inside, giving and going. Here is Martin Ojeda. Big chance. Ojeda hits the post. Only as far as Pasalic. Shoved off it by Zinkernagel, then Kuipers. Ugo Kuipers onto the ball for Chicago. Needs to get clear and can't find Zinkernagel. They are both just exhausted. You wonder when we might see Haile Selassie in Zinkernagel's place. Orlando come right back with Maguire. Poked away by Elliott. Brian Gutierrez nowhere to go. Gutierrez runs into a player. Free kick. Araujo's frustrated. The Fire have escaped yet again, as ringing the woodwork was Martin Ojeda with a furious left-footed shot.
Yeah, and Gulo connecting with Ojeda after he received the ball through the legs of Christopher Cups. And Ojeda opted once again to go to near post and take a shot with his left boot. I mentioned about Angulo doing that a little bit before. This time, that may have not been the best opportunity or best decision, because he had about two or three players in the middle of the field, that maybe middle of the six, I should say, that he could have squared it over to.
Orlando, after a handball by Orahel, are underway quickly, but the referee says no, that ball was rolling. He's right. They're going to have to retake this quick free kick.
Yeah, it looks like guys are looking really, really fatigued out there, understandably so, because it takes a lot of energy just to, number one, to play the game. But if you're trying to attack and you have to get back and defend a lot more than usual, your body certainly will feel that.
Angulo charging forward, left side edge of the area. Angulo cuts in on his right, takes the shot, double deflection. Orlando on a handball against Omari Glasgow. We play on for now. Muriel turning in midfield, sends it back. Gutman got a boot to it. Inside goes Freeman. Was he tripped? Foul. Referee says no. Fire clear. Only to midfield, and the man Schlegel right in the middle of the center circle. Brekalo, Schlegel, Araujo. Here come Orlando again. Martin Ojeda near side left wing. Watched by Glasgow. Back infield, Araujo. Araujo looking to line up a cross. Dummied by Muriel for Maguire. Here's Freeman out wide. Pasalic. Pasalic edge of the area, has a go.
Oh,
crossbar. Straight in the air on the goal
line.
Oh, my gosh. Swing and a miss by Muriel. It was a tough bouncer. The Fire are asking, how could this possibly be a corner, as the last two men to touch it were both Orlando City players. The referee got one of these wrong about 15 minutes ago, and Orlando City are conceding the goal kick. And, I think this is one where everybody knew, but we're getting a replay now in our broadcast booth. This shot takes a wicked deflection off of the foot of Philip Zinkernagel. Gall saw it late, rang the crossbar. Muriel went flying in. He couldn't make contact. And Orlando has now hit the frame of Gall's goal twice.
Yeah, I mean, listen, what a shot by Pasalic with a little extra on it with that deflection. If you don't know, what the shot looks like, you can look at Pasalic's goal against Atlanta last week, and that was similar. And then Ojeda with the follow-up, because it actually hit off the crossbar.
Gutierrez forward looking for Kuipers, and behind Janssen, the Orlando City captain, well positioned to cut it out.
They hit off the crossbar and had a wicked spin back into play, and Muriel almost got on end of it, tried to hit it with the outside of his right boot, but got a little contact on it, but was not able to get enough to keep it in play.
Ball long. Here's Ojeda running alongside Cups. Ojeda forced wide by the 16-year-old. Hasn't looked out of place tonight in his debut. Back for Brekalo. Brekalo across to a fellow defender in Schlegel, middle of the field. Muriel dropping in, giving and going. Maguire taken away. No, by Gutierrez. Duncan Maguire goes down under the challenge from Jack Elliott. It's a free kick for Orlando, almost dead center of the field, just to the right of center. And it's about 22 yards from goal. Another big free kick opportunity upcoming for the visitors in purple. Elliott the foul. McGuire went down, Martin Ojeda has already taken control of the ball, although I think Muriel will have something to say about it.
Yeah, I think Muriel will have something to say about it, but I think Ojeda is probably the best option. Muriel's had a couple opportunities tonight and hasn't done well with them, so I think Ojeda will be the one that ends up striking this ball, but not the best foul from Jack Elliott. You would expect a little bit better from a veteran player like that. Maybe he was a bit surprised that that ball from Muriel came into McGuire and stepped wrong, but nevertheless he made contact with Duncan McGuire, goes down, and this is a free kick in a very dangerous spot about 25 yards out.
Orlando looks like for after the free kick are preparing a double substitution. 22 yards from goal, just right of center from his perspective. Martin Ojeda stands over the ball. Muriel's there as well, as is Araujo. Gall between the posts for the Fire. Can Orlando break through? Into the wall goes the shot from Ojeda. Another poor free kick by Orlando. Omari Glasgow up into the night. Orlando now reset. Nervous energy building and building on a night where a draw would feel like a win for the men in red. Orlando, though, won all 3 points. Muriel to the center of the field for Alex Freeman. Outside goes Pasalic around Zickernagel. He's
going to cut back in on his left, though.
Pasalic still on his right toward the end line. Dribbles it straight out of play. Goal kick.
Yeah, and great job by Zickernagel forcing him to the right. You know he wants to get back on his favorite left foot, and Zickernagel did an excellent job tracking back and getting that ball.
Double change coming for Orlando City, and it's going to be a pair of maybe more attacking fullbacks as the referee is in a very strongly worded conversation with Duncan McGuire. No yellow card has come out yet, but they're still jawing at each other here.
Well, I think Duncan McGuire ran over to get the ball as the Fire trying to waste a bit of time, and the referee
Victor Rivas stood his ground there, and Orlando are preparing to bring in 2 more attacking fullbacks. We'll get to that in a moment. Header down. Here's Gutierrez looking in behind. Here's Hugo Kuipers flaring out. Right of center. Inside, giving and going Orihel. To the middle. Brian Gutierrez, edge of the area. Here's Philip Zickernagel left side. Zickernagel wanted to overlap to Gutman. It wasn't there, but it runs right into him. Zickernagel has a go. Referee says handball. I don't know about that call. His hand was by his side. And Orlando are now told they can't take the free kick quickly. It's going to be a triple change for the Lions. And here is the change. The first one, out goes Rodrigo Schlegel. In goes Dagerdan Thorhaldsen from Iceland. Right wing back, he's going to come in for one center back. Second change, Ivan Angulo is out. He is replaced on the left side by Rafael Santos, Brazilian left back. And the third change, we'll see Ramiro Enrique, striker, onto the field to replace Pasalic. So it is Pasalic, Schlegel, and Angulo who go out. Pasalic, Schlegel, Angulo out, and into the match come Santos, Thorhaldsen, and Enrique. Fresh legs for Orlando. Greg Berhalter is going to answer with a triple change of his own. Looks like it's going to be Omar Gonzalez, Romy Kouame, and Marin Haile Selassie. We'll confirm that when we see it. Here goes Luis Muriel into the attack. Duncan McGuire got a boot to it, couldn't connect. Mauricio Pineda tries to stride clear, too casual. Luckily, Sergio Orihel helped him out. Orihel in some trouble, finds Kuipers. Kuipers goes down. Araujo can't believe it. Free kick for the Fire.
Yeah, we talk about the Orlando City subs. Dagger Thorhaldsen is a dynamic player. If you have not seen this young man play, he is dynamic. He's a great dribbler on the ball, and he certainly can create. Obviously, Santos as a left back, his left foot is something special. And as you said, the Fire about to bring in their 3 subs. Very, very key that those 3 come in and do their absolute best to see this game out and be very smart with their opportunities. And if I'm being honest really quick, Alex, Davia, I'm a little concerned because the last couple opportunities that he's been given in these games, he has turned the ball over a lot. and they have led to opportunities for the opponent. And so I hope that they've shown him video and that he values the ball much more in this game.
First change sees Orehel replaced by Gonzalez. The second change sees Gutierrez replaced by Kouame. And the third change will see Andrew Gutman replaced by Jay Davila. So let's see how that all shakes out.
Yeah, it's like a back five.
Yeah, Gonzalez is going to go to left-sided center back in place of Gutman. Zingernagel stays at left wing back. Davila in the midfield on the left. Kouame in the midfield on the right, either side of Pineda. Kuipers remains the lone striker. Fresh legs for both teams. We're in the 84th minute of play. Center circle, Janssen for Orlando. Goes to his right in Brekalo, who has gone over to the right side of their back three. Ojeda knocked to the ground by Glasgow. Free kick.
It's a foul. Not much in it, but it was a foul. If the Fire got that, if it happened to the Fire, if the shoe was on the other foot, we would want that call. So it's one of those types of engagements.
Everybody back for the Fire. Everybody is forward for Orlando. Martin Ojeda is over the free kick. He's about 30 yards from the end line and 10 yards infield on the Orlando City attacking left. Ojeda, ball curved in toward the far post. It's up and over everybody and out for a Fire throw-in on the far side. Once again, a poor set piece from Orlando City.
Yeah, very poor. They have not done well on set pieces tonight, defending or taking them. And obviously that's a plus for the Fire. And in this 85th minute, the Fire have done a really, really solid job in this second half. Obviously, we're hoping with the new subs that they're able to see this thing out.
No shortage of size in the back three now between Cups Elliott and Omar Gonzalez. Missed kick there by an Orlando player, but they regained possession. Back to the captain, Robin Janssen. Brekalo. Thorhaldsen. Worked around in a bit of a horseshoe here. Brekalo back for Janssen in the middle of the field. Luis Muriel dropping deep. Javier Santos, the left back to Muriel. Muriel playing basically as a center mid at this point. Janssen nowhere to go, hands to Brekalo. Araujo in central midfield. Thorhaldsen. Thorhaldsen infield onto his left. Thorhaldsen chipping forward, flicked on by Ojeda, and cleared by Elliott out to the far side. Freeman looking to see this out for a throw. He does, and quickly resumes play back to Brekalo.
Yeah, Cups did a great job there, staying in position with Muriel. Great step in there by him as well.
Referee says free kick for a foul by Cups, and I don't think so.
No.
Going down was Muriel, and the contact here was minimal, and this is an example where the referee was sold on this. Muriel, you see strikers do this. He knows when the defender is coming, and he just spins and goes down. And I think this is a combination of a young defender and a young referee in combination being fooled.
Yeah, I don't think that's a foul there. I think that's a play on, especially in this type of match. Could Christopher Cups be a little bit more safe and not try to necessarily win that ball and step in there? But for me, I don't think there's enough in there to make that call, especially in this type of game, especially this late in the game. I think referee Rivas got that wrong.
87th minute here in Chicago. Four-man wall plus Zingernagel as the draft excluder. Ojeda and Muriel over it. Muriel, no! Once again, Orlando cannot get anywhere near the target on these free kicks. They've all either been way over the net or into the midsection of the Fire wall. And Oscar Pareja, not a happy man on the Orlando sideline.
Not at all. Certainly not the greatest free kick. And I can imagine people who are listening, they may know the old adage that ball don't lie, right? The ball does not lie. And I think that was one of the instances where the ball, made up for exactly what did not happen, which was a foul on Muriel.
Goal kick by Gall, headed around by a couple players. Davila took a big swing and couldn't connect. Here's Dagerdon Thorhaldsen in midfield. Alex Freeman The tall, lanky, young right back going to turn into a pseudo-striker at some point here, I'd imagine. Ramiro Enrique turns at the far touchline and goes infield. Still Enrique, tricky feet, good tackle by Zinkernagel. Thorhaldsen back to about 40 yards from goal for Araujo. Luis Muriel outside the area. Muriel trying to feed it through, finds Ojeda, cleared away at the last moment by Jack Elliott. Throw in on the near side for Orlando, 10 yards from the end line, back for Muriel. Muriel, his cross blocked by Romy Kouame.
Yeah, this may not be Muriel's night, and I'm not, in the market for commentators' jinx, but Muriel has not had the best outing this evening.
Pineda couldn't connect there with Zinkernagel, who then lost it. Here's Freeman charging forward. Freeman in field. Martin Ojeda puts his head down and hits the gas. Luis Muriel, edge of the area. Back here for Freeman. Freeman trying to cut onto his right, nothing there. Into the middle, here's Muriel. Muriel, left foot, no. Kouame comes away with it. Here's Kuipers, he's fouled. Free kick, fouled by Thorhaldsen, yellow card. First Orlando City player into the book tonight. It comes in the 90th minute.
Yeah, I'm not sure that was a yellow card worthy foul, but nevertheless, I am happy that the referee did call that. Kuipers has done an excellent job of putting his body in position to draw a foul. And some of the fouls they're just smart, right? You have to stop the flow of play. You're down a man. You don't want to keep running. So you put yourself in a position where, yes, you do get fouled, and that's what Kuipers has done the last few times. And this time he drew a yellow card on Dagger Thorhaldsen.
Some young fans down in front of us have a yellow card that's bigger than they are that they are currently holding up. So shout out to those young fans for their artwork paying off and getting to use that at some point this evening.
Yeah, no, great to see.
We're awaiting the stoppage time board. Can't imagine it's going to be all that much. Orlando have simply not taken advantage of what has been effectively a 65-minute power play.
Yeah,
and the board is up. It's only 3 minutes.
Yeah, they've had a lot of opportunities tonight, just haven't capitalized.
Can the Fire see out an impressive clean sheet? It won't be a win at home, but it will feel like one after last weekend's 7-2 and after a first half sending off of their starting goalkeeper. Orlando do not want another 0-0. They've had enough of those already. Muriel given space to turn. His shot is over the top. Did Gall get a fingertip? No. Goal kick. But Jeff Gall has landed a bit awkwardly, or at least he's acting that way.
Yeah.
We'll debate if that hip that he's grabbing actually took a hit here, or if he's doing his best to drag out the seconds on the clock remaining. And I just think, Desan, that over the course of this second half, the frustration's built and built. Duncan McGuire is not happy with Luis Muriel right now at all. Muriel has not been able to buy a shot on goal tonight.
No, I think Duncan McGuire wanted him to slip him that ball as they were both heading towards the net. Duncan McGuire was in a little bit of a better position to maybe hit a first-time shot past Jeff Gall, but nevertheless, Muriel decided that he wanted to take.
Christopher Cupps just hits this ball in the air. It's going to stay in, and now it'll be a corner. There's never been a better time to test drive that Hyundai you've always wanted. It's your journey. See your local Chicago and Northwest Indiana Hyundai dealer or visit buyhyundai.com today.
There's a miscommunication there between Christopher Cupps and Jack Elliott.
Everybody forward for Orlando except Galese, who stands at midfield. Outswinger Ojeda into the area, headed away by Zinkernagel. Thorhaldsen settles and shoots into the north stands.
Yeah, north stands is where we want to see that ball. We do not want to see it anywhere near Jeff Gall's net. Great header out off the corner by Chicago Fire, and it did fall to the feet of Thorhaldsen, who wasn't able to keep that down. And Jeff Gall's doing a great job of walking relatively slow, setting up, making sure the ball's in the right spot, placing his foot there. So great job there as referee Victor Rivas is telling him to hurry up.
Hey, maybe not the worst idea for Gall to just take a yellow card. We're into the third minute.
I would have taken it already.
Of the minimum of 3. Kuipers tries to settle. Tangling with Araujo. Free kick Orlando. They are low on time. 92:30 read the clocks at Soldier Field. Araujo's on the turf. His teammates are playing on.
Yeah.
Alex Freeman on the far side.
Yeah, Freeman hasn't had a great evening tonight as he pushes forward. the son of former NFL wide receiver Antonio Freeman, is trying to help his team out late in this game.
Final seconds of the minimum of 3 minutes. Muriel Santos, this is going to be the last attack of the game. Can Orlando find a late winner? Challenged by Kuipers. Referee says no foul. Referee says that is all. It finishes at Soldier Field. The Chicago Fire 0, Orlando City 0. The Fire still have not won on their home field this season. It is a fourth draw, but all things considered, Dason Robinson, it is a draw the Fire will take.
Yeah, definitely this side gets out of this game with a point, and another plus is that they did not concede a goal, Alex. So if you look at the tape, you figure out what to work on. There's some things that you can improve upon, but ultimately you're happy with this result.
Orlando City, 4 wins, 4 losses, 3 draws. Chicago, 3 wins, 4 losses, 4 draws now on the season. We'll break down an eventful night that might not have had goals, but still plenty to talk about in the post-match show. Right after this, you're listening to Chicago Fire Soccer on WLS 890.